Hello and welcome to the Noble Leaders Cup. I'm Kjotleik. This is the first qualifying round. The game right now is Francis II of Holy Rome versus Masaryk of Czechia. Francis II is philosophical and protective, and Holy Rome starts with mysticism and hunting. Masaryk is philosophical and organized, and the Czechs start with agriculture and mining. This is the starting position of Francis II. Next to a river there is rice, down here is some copper, we have some dyes, and there is some fish up here. He is on the eastern part of the starting continent. All the way in the west we find Masaryk next to a river. There is marble, ivory, another marble, some bananas. Out here is fish, out there is fish, cows, there is rice, and generally some resources available. Let's see who can go through to the next round. Let's start the game almost immediately. Off we go. Francis II versus Masaryk. One city each. Francis II in Hinduism. Masaryk annoyed with Francis already from the get-go. Almost 50 turns, they're 52 cities each. And they are looking to get their third city up then. 3 cities Francis II. Turn 80, 3 cities each, different religions now. Francis II in Hinduism, Masaryk in Buddhism. And 4 cities each at the moment. Turn 115, on 4 cities each. 5 cities Francis II, he is first to build a new city most of the time now. 5 cities each at the moment. They are still far away from each other, but they are settling closer to each other now. Francis II is going west, so he's closing in, both in the middle of the land and up down the coastline. 7 cities each at the moment then. Turn 179, 180, 8 cities Masaryk is first, and he's 9 cities before Francis got his 8. 10 to 8 now is the city count for Masaryk. 10 to 8 for Masaryk. He is also getting guilds now. Francis II is on construction. Francis is a little bit weaker than Masaryk as well, 0.7 the strength. And 11 cities to 9. Masaryk has the advantage in the city count, and he has also a little bit more in score and is a little bit stronger. 11 to 10 in cities. Going divine right now. Machinery for Francis, engineering next for Francis as well. And 11 cities to 10 favoring Masaryk. 11 to 11 we are equal, and Francis II is up to 12 cities now. He has taken the lead again in the city count. Masaryk 11, Francis II 12, and now Masaryk is getting astronomy now in turn 258 to 59, 259, and Masaryk has astronomy. He can go settle the new world, and he should do that. 11 cities for Masaryk, 13 to Francis. Francis is just now getting compass. Masaryk is going towards liberalism. We have the war. There is a war going on at the moment though. 11 cities Masaryk, 13 Francis II, and Francis is weaker than Masaryk, so Masaryk is the strongest one. Is he now going to take cities in war and expand overseas, or will this just be decided right here, right now? Francis is going astronomy as well though, so he could be sending out. We have the peace treaty by the way. I didn't catch when that happened, but here we are. Going physics next for Masaryk then. Civil service from Francis II. Excuse me, still coughs. Masaryk has settled in the new world on the continent that you see up in the north, both northwest and northeast, because that is the same continent. And now we have 14 cities each. Francis II has gone southeast. Masaryk has gone both south and north, and he has settled more cities now in the New World. He is spreading his cities in the New World out pretty well now, Masaryk. And also Francis II on the main other continent, a little bit to the east of the starting continent. 17 cities Masaryk, 16 cities Francis II. They are still pretty even. Passable parts for Masaryk. Francis II on printing press. Masaryk getting gunpowder in one turn and go straight to rifling after that. 19 cities Masaryk, 18 cities Francis II. Replaceable parts for Francis, probably onto rifling after that himself as well. Masaryk a little bit more in score, but Francis II, well, They are 20 each in city count at the moment. Masaryk a little bit stronger than Francis, but not by much, and that could change once Francis II gets rifling. Masaryk is onto electricity though, 20 cities Masaryk, 21 Francis II, turn 344. Now who is going to take an initiative here to try to win the game? That is uncertain at the moment. Masaryk on 20, Francis II on 22 now as he builds another city up in the north here. And then a bank was destroyed by enemy infiltrators, which means that Masaryk is using his spies as well. Both of them are going for chemistry, turn 352. Masaryk has ended the golden age he just had. Okay, we know that now that Francis II, 22 cities, Masaryk 21. 22 cities Masaryk, 23 Francis II, they are still settling the new lands, and Masaryk is annoyed with Francis, but it doesn't seem like he wants to go to war at the moment. It seems to me like they are racing towards getting their settlers out first at least. And they are neck versus neck, and there is the war, of course. When I said there was not going to be, there is, of course, there is. Francis II is 1.2, 1.3 times the strength of Masaryk though, so he is stronger now. Masaryk is a turn away from steel, which means cannons, and going railroads next. Francis II getting military science, and on to steel next himself. 24 cities for Francis II, 22 for Masaryk. Let's see if that changes in the war. They are settling cities as well, so just a city change is not the same as a city captured. But there, Masaryk 21, Francis II 25. And Francis is going towards steel, Masaryk is going combustion now then. 21 cities Masaryk, 25 Francis II. Turn 382, 20 to 26 now. Masaryk has lost another one, down to 20 cities. To Francis II's 26. And now Masaryk tries to go assembly line at the very least. Francis II going scientific method. 20 cities now Masaryk, and Francis is 1.3 times the strongest Masaryk as well. 26 cities Francis II, and 21 Masaryk has taken one back then. 21 cities Masaryk going for industrialism next. Steam power for Francis II, 21 cities to 25. Francis is down to 1.1 times the strength of Masaryk as well, so they are almost even. And now Francis and Masaryk are even in strength, 21 cities to 25, which means that Francis II may be losing a few more units than Masaryk out on the battlefield. And now Masaryk is stronger than Francis, but he is still behind in cities, 21 to 25. 21 to 25, and we have the peace treaty on Masaryk. 21 cities, Francis II 25, and Masaryk is a little bit stronger than Francis, and now he is getting industrialism in 4 turns as well. Francis II is on his way to railroads, and Francis has 0.8 the strength of Masaryk at the moment, which means that Masaryk has come out of this mid to late game war stronger than Francis II, even though he has fewer cities though, 21 versus 25. He is building up his military, he is 10 turns away from plastics, Francis is 9 turns away from railroads, 21 cities to 26. Another city settled, in other words, by Francis II. The peace treaty is still in effect, turn 411, and it is no longer in effect, 21 cities to 26. Sorry. Excuse me, I still have this dangerous, or annoying, cough deep in my throat. It has been this way for over a week. 22 cities Masaryk, 26 cities Francis. Masaryk has started the golden age as well, and he has completed the Statue of Liberty, as we see in the chat, or I caught it at least. Up to 24 cities now Masaryk, 24 to 26 is the city count. He's going for radio, Francis is going for combustion, but radio next for Masaryk. And Masaryk is still a little bit stronger than Francis, not by much. Francis is 0.8 the strength of Masaryk. 24 cities to 26. Going mass media next Masaryk then, while physics is for Francis II. Francis II getting physics then with 26 cities to 24. This is an evenly fought game. Turn 429. I will not be surprised if this ends up going into overtime here now. Masaryk 2 turns away from Fascism, 1 turn away from fascism, and Francis II is down to 0.7 the strength of Masaryk now, which means that either Masaryk is building more units or Francis II is neglecting to build units. Artillery next for Masaryk then. Francis is getting his physics now. 26 cities still for Francis II then. There are cities that can flip due to cultural pressure as well, so we must be aware of that, but he built another one, Francis II now. He is up to 27 cities. He is close to artillery. Masaryk is getting onto rocketry. And there was a bank destroyed by enemy infiltrators. Masaryk is using his spies to annoy Francis II, which means that there could be wars soon. Masaryk is actually furious with Francis II at the moment. However, there is not a war going on at the moment. 27 cities, Francis II, 24, Masaryk, and Francis going towards artillery. Masaryk is going to get rocketry, turn 444 at the moment. A successful espionage mission by Francis II. And Francis 0.7 the strength of Masaryk. I don't think that Francis II is going to do well if the war breaks out. So it is fission for Masaryk then, and artillery for Francis II. Francis' next tech is what? Let's see, he goes for Constitution next, turn 450. We have 50 turns left of regulation time, and after that we will go into extra time, overtime. And I think that this game may need it, because they are not going to get a space race victory in the next 46 turns. Satellites for Masaryk. Francis II is getting Constitution right now, and it seems to me like despite them being furious at each other, there doesn't seem to be a willingness to declare a war at the moment. I don't know why. Maybe they don't think they can really win domination and that they are trying to go for something else. There is always the possibility for a cultural victory when we get this late in the game as well. Depends really. There is the war declaration. We are at turn 459. Masaryk 25 cities, Francis II 26, which means Masaryk took one city when he declared. 26 cities for Masaryk now, he took another one. 26 to 25, maybe he has decided time has come for going for domination, but he has lost a few units and won a few units in the wars. Francis going for education, but 26 cities Masaryk now, 25 Francis II going for flight. Masaryk next then. And turn 464, 26 to 25 is the city count. Could Masaryk win domination before we reach turn 500? If he divert all his efforts towards the war effort, maybe, just maybe he can do that. But he needs to take a lot of land for it to happen, and he doesn't take land fast enough, it seems to me. 26 to 25 is still 27, 24 there, he took another one. Up to 27, and Francis II down to 24. Francis still 0.7 the strength of Masaryk though, getting economics while Masaryk is on advanced flight. Going towards corporations next, but that's not going to help you now, Francis, because you are a little bit weaker. 0.7, 0.6. I think that if Francis wants to survive this and have a chance at winning, he needs to... Sorry. Terrible cough today. That has lasted for a long time. Masaryk 27 cities to 24. Francis II 0.6 the strength of Masaryk. Getting the corporation. 26 to 25 now. Still Masaryk has lost the city again, in other words. Getting his advanced flight. Francis II is 13 turns away from rocketry. But they took one city back from Masaryk. Turn 476. They are so evenly matched in this war. It doesn't seem to be that much, but there Masaryk took that city back again, up to 27 and now down to 26 again. But Masaryk is growing stronger than Francis II in this war, which means that Francis II is losing more units than Masaryk. It has to be that. And Francis is down to 0.5 the strength of Masaryk now. Masaryk twice as strong. And because both of them have approximately equal number of cities, which means that they have the same production capacity for military units, and seeing Francis II then grow weaker by the turn means that Francis is losing more units than Masaryk is losing, which means that Masaryk is winning on the battlefield. And he has 26 to 25 cities at the moment. He's not, it is not decisive yet, but he's trying. Turn 485 is here. 26 cities to 25, going for Rocket Dream Francis, while Medicine is for Masaryk. 26 to 25 still, and Francis is 0.5 the strength of Masaryk. Masaryk is twice as strong. There he is back up to 27 cities, he took that one. Assembly line next for Francis II, and if Francis can just keep stalling this war until he gets his military tax up equal with Masaryk, then he could turn it again, but now Francis is down to 23 cities, Masaryk has taken another one, Francis is down to 0.4 the strength as well. 23 cities, Francis II, Masaryk up to 28, we are at turn 493, we are soon out of regulation time, and we are soon ready to go into overtime then. 5 turns left for that. Masaryk 2.5 times as strong as Francis II, and this is not going to end in a victory condition in the next 4 turns, so we are practically speaking guaranteed overtime unless one of them suddenly draws a cultural victory out of their magic hat. That's probably not going to happen in 2 turns, but who knows. Assembly line in 2 for Francis II, composites for Masaryk, turn 499, 28 to 23 is the city count. And here we are, turn 500, 28 to 23 city count, Masaryk 2.5 times as strong as Francis, and we are in overtime, officially we are into overtime. And this war is continuing, let's see for how long. Masaryk 28 cities, Francis II 23, if they are indeed. But now Francis seems to have stopped teching. He is going towards industrialism, but very slowly. It takes 50 turns or 34 turns. Does that mean Francis II has decided to go for a cultural victory here in overtime? There is the possibility that that is what he is trying. Well, maybe he is not. He's only spending 10% on the cultural slider. He's probably just upgrading units. That's probably what's happening here. 22 cities left for Francis now. Masaryk has taken another one up to 29 to 22. So for France, sorry, 21 cities left for Francis II then. 21 cities to 30. And we are in overtime, and Francis, yeah, I think he's using his money to upgrade units or buying units or whatever. But he is still losing the war. 21 cities left for Francis, and he's down to 0.4 the strength to Masaryk. Masaryk 30 cities, Francis II 21 cities. We are turned 513. Francis II on 21 cities. That is still enough to block domination, so if he can get his military units up to speed before he loses too many cities, but 17 turns left now, he's 30%. And Masaryk has completed a casing and a docking base, so Masaryk is clearly trying to go, he's also going fusion by the way. Masaryk is trying to go space at the same time as he is fighting, and if Masaryk can keep fighting to keep Francis II occupied with building units and not going culture, that means Masaryk is probably going to win space here in overtime then. If he can continue doing what he is doing right now, he could also just go for all-out military and win domination, because he has 30 cities to Francis II's 21, and he is 2.5 times as strong as the Holy Roman Emperor. But Francis is closing into industrialism himself at the moment. Masaryk completes another 3 casings. And what is he doing next? Refrigeration next for Masaryk. Francis still crawling. Masaryk has completed the mining ink as well, which could increase his production. 30 cities, 31 to 20. Francis II is down to 20 cities. And he still hasn't gotten industrialism. 4 turns away from that. Masaryk is getting refrigeration, and what's next for Masaryk then? Well, revolution and anarchy in Holy Rome, computers for Masaryk in 4 turns. 31 cities to 20. He is pressing on, and I think that Masaryk could still win domination here, because now he has 11 cities more than Francis II. And Francis is down to 0.4 the strength, and he still hasn't gotten industrialism. So if Masaryk, he does have so many cities now that he should be able to outproduce Francis II when it comes to military units. 31 cities to 20 for turn 530. But these two have been very close in when it comes to fighting, when it comes to war. They have been a very good match for each other. 19 cities left for Francis II now. 19 cities going for fascism. Robotics next for Masaryk then. 32 cities to 19. And he's slowly crawling ever closer to that domination win. If he can get it before he gets into space, that is another matter altogether. 33 cities to 18, but the more cities he take, the more advantages he will get over Francis II, and now Francis is down to 17, now he's down to 16, now he's starting to lose cities pretty rapidly here, Francis II. Could this be the final push of Masaryk? 35 cities to 16, and he's getting robotics, but he's pushing and taking cities now, Francis II. He's down to 16, still no domination though, he has a little bit too much land for that at the moment. But that could change any minute now, any turn. Going for superconductors now, Masaryk, while Francis II is on fascism. Turn 540, we are 40 turns in overtime. 16 cities left for Francis II, and once he got below 20, that was basically it. He has no more chance to win this game, I think. Down to 15 cities now for Francis II, 15 versus 36. That is a very, very big disadvantage, and this is not going to go well, even though he has a good tech to fight, he has tanks and stuff, but no, this is not going to go the way of the Holy Roman Emperor. He is going to take a lot of turns getting to plastics as well. Down to 14 cities now, Masaryk, 37 to 14, getting superconductors there. 14 cities left for Francis II. This is going to be an overtime domination, I believe, unless Masaryk signs peace, which he shouldn't do. Genetics next. 13 cities left for Francis II now. It looks pale for the Holy Roman Empire. 13 cities left, and Masaryk is going to go through to the next round, but how fast can he do it? It is very slow this far. Turn 548. We are almost 50 turns into overtime. Francis II on 13 cities. It has been a slow crawl for Masaryk, but it has been a good one. He has pushed on, and he has pushed on, and pushed on, and pushed on, and eventually Francis II is folding, and he has been defeated. He is down to 0.2 the strength of Masaryk. Masaryk is 5 times as strong as Francis II. Francis is down to 13 cities. It's only a matter of time now before Masaryk has the domination. Or if he can go into space before that happens. He has completed the thrusters as well. But with 13 cities left for Francis II, I believe domination could come in before an eventual space race victory. I just have to wait and see here. 12 cities left for Francis II now. 12 cities, and Masaryk is going for stealth. He's never going to reach plastics, is he, Francis II? Well, maybe he is, but then he needs to do more research. Masaryk has completed another spaceship thruster. 12 cities left for Francis II, turn 557 at the moment. And Masaryk completes 2 more thrusters. He completes 2 more thrusters. 12 cities left for Francis II. Is this going to be space or domination? I favor domination at the moment, but who knows? 11 cities left for Francis II now. 11 cities left. I think that this must be close to domination for Masaryk. Turn 560, 11 cities for Francis II. Masaryk is on future tech though, so he has all the technologies that he can ever get. 40 cities for Masaryk, 11 for Francis II, still no domination. But I think it should be able to come here now in the not too distant future. Turn 562 at the moment, 11 cities left. Have to take that count, and we have to, but since they are in war, it is difficult to see all the messages on the screen as well. We could just miss the launch of the spaceship here completely, because maybe there are more than 6 messages each turn and there is only 6 on the screen at any one time. But there it is. That's a moot point. Francis II is down to 10 cities. Masaryk has completed the domination victory. Turn 565, 2145 AD. He needed overtime, but he is through to the second round of the Nobel Leaders Cup. Congratulations, Masaryk. Masaryk declared 2 of the 3 wars in the game. 1 was a standoff and the second was the last war that won in the game. City captures were 0-0 and 19-2. Francis II then also declared 1 war. He actually won his war. He declared in 1944, turn 364, won 2-1 in city captures and signed peace 1981, turn 401 after 37 years and turns in war. Let's go take a look at the stats for the game, shall we? Exit and onto the graphs, and here we see then Masaryk is in the blue and Francis is in the yellow score. This is the GNP, the production, the food, the power, the culture, and the espionage. Let's go demographics then. Francis II's numbers to the left, Masaryk's numbers to the right, and Masaryk with 4 digits on all of these, even the production and food, which is good. 75.4 million inhabitants at the conclusion of the game. Let's go top 6 cities and wonders and take a look at the bottom here on wonders. 3 wonders in the BC era, Malbo, the Oracle, and Stonehenge. The top 6 cities: Bratislava number 1, Masaryk City, Prague number 2, also Masaryk City, and Masaryk has the 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th cities as well. They are relatively big. Liberec, size 25. I wonder if that is the biggest this far in the cup. I'll have to check. I will have to come back to that later. Statistics page then. Francis II built 26 cities, 2 religions, 2 golden ages, currently on 25 windmills, 18 towns and 8 forest preserves. He did build in his cities 26 granaries, 24 theaters and 22 barracks, 3 Confucian temples. Let's go page down and see a complete page 2. Notre Dame is there. Let's go page down again. And that was it. Let's go line up and confirm Notre Dame was the last building on the list. Current units then: 29 infantries, 8 workers, 4 machine guns, and a cavalry at the bottom. You did train in your cities: 175 cavalry, 74 riflemen, and 67 anti-tanks. 9 great generals, sorry. 1 tank at the bottom there. The kills for Francis II were 48 tanks, 35 gunships, 30 infantry, down to 2 machine guns. Let's go page down and complete the list by 1 attack submarine killed. The losses: 171 cavalry, 82 riflemen, 63 anti-tanks, 2 crossbowmen. Let's go page down and see 1 Hindu missionary also lost in the war. Masaryk's numbers then: 25 cities built, 5 religions, 3 golden ages, currently on 71 windmills, 67 farms, 38 forest preserves. He did build in his cities. 30 granaries and barracks, 27 factories, down to 6 public transportations. Page down and you see page 2, Versailles at the bottom there. Page down again. Then we see page 3, the Great Library at the bottom. Page down again, and we see the Church of the Nativity as the last building built in the cities by Masaryk. Let's go back to the top and take a look at his current units. 59 mechanized infantry, 41 workers, 38 modern armors, and down to 1 stealth destroyer. He trained a total of 69 tanks, 56 marines, 55 gunships, 14 crossbowmen. Let's go page down. 4 guided missiles at the bottom there. Let's go page down again and see 1 galley as the last unit trained. Let's look at the kills then. 171 cavalry, 82 riflemen, 63 anti-tanks, and 2 galleons. Page down. 1 Hindu missionary at the bottom there. And the losses: 48 tanks, 35 gunships, 30 infantry, down to 2 transports. And page down we see 1 pikeman at the bottom of the list. Let's go take a look at the victory condition screen then. We see the confirmation of Masaryk winning domination. 74% of the land area, he needed 74, so domination in the bag. He was 59 turns away from winning culture as well, and he had completed some spaceship parts here, at least a cockpit, a life support, a docking bay, 5 casings and 4 thrusters. so he was not that far away from launching. He built the United Nations and the Apostolic Palace as well, Masaryk. And before we go and take a look at the cities, I can confirm that Masaryk has set a new cup record. City size of Liberec was 25, the previous record was 24, so congratulations with that. Let's go take a look at the city list. Francis has 10 cities left, so let's do this. Sort by population, Lübeck, Trier and Regensburg pop 6, and we see the rest pop 5, 4 and 3. A little bit unhappy, but they are healthy, they have lowish food, they have relatively little commerce, and production is not that great either, but at least he is building military units, although 1, 2, 3 caravels and an ironclad is not going to help win the war, I'm afraid. Let's take a look at Masaryk's cities then. He has 41 of them. Masaryk, okay. Here we are at 41. Let's go here and sort by population, and on top we should see Liberec on 25. That's a new population record. Olomouc 22, Prague 21, and some 20 cities and 19 cities. And you see the numbers there. They are generally happy and healthy with a few exceptions. There is good food, 62 base food in Liberec. That's a reason why it grows so high. And 60 in Bratislava as well, so there are a couple of good cities here. Base commerce is decent for a lot of them. Power in most of the big cities at least, and building some stasis chambers, engines and stuff, not too far away. 120 production in Brno for the stasis chamber, 108 in Prague for the mining ink executive, so good production as well. Martin is the last city on the first page, pop 10. Bottom. Martin, there it is, and Genoa and below are on page 2. Congratulations to Masaryk, winning domination at turn 565. 65 turns into overtime, 21:45 AD, and through to the second qualifying round. Tomorrow there are 3 games, 2 from the league and 1 from the cup. The cup game is Gaia Mada versus Masa Nissa, and I hope to see you back then. I am Kjotleik, this has been the Noble Leaders Cup. Goodbye for now.